could you be holding on to that extra weight because you're becoming insulin resistant? Well, guess what? 100 million Americans are, and this is the reason that they are unable to get rid of that stubborn fat. So today, we're gonna have 7 symptoms of insulin resistance. 3 of them I think will totally blow your mind. But my name is Terrell, and I'm one of the coaches here at Beyond 40. And not only are we gonna talk about these symptoms, we're gonna talk about why it happens and what to do about it. So first, let's talk about insulin. Insulin is a hormone and is produced in your pancreas every time you eat a meal. And insulin's job is to take the energy or the blood sugar from that meal and to shuffle it off into your cells for your cells to use for energy. Now, when we have insulin present, we cannot make another hormone called glucagon. And glucagon is the opposite of insulin, and it tells your cells to release the stored energy. So the problem is this. The normal insulin response time after a meal is about 2 to 3 hours. But when we start to become insulin resistant, that time gets extended because the insulin is unable to unlock the door to our cell to allow that energy in. So the blood sugar circulates through your blood for a longer amount of time. So now we have more time spent in an insulin response, and it actually makes our body produce more and more insulin to get rid or to take care of that extra energy that's floating around. And like I said, when insulin is present, we are not able to burn fat. We cannot use our stored energy in the presence of insulin. So we need to get in a state where we have lower insulin so we can produce that glucagon and actually be able to access our stored energy. So here we go. What are the symptoms? Well, the first one is abdominal fat. The place that your body is designed to first store extra energy is in your muscles. But when we begin to become insulin resistant, that hierarchy or that order of operations switches because our muscles are filled up and it can't hold anymore. So that's when it spills over into our fat cells. And when that fat is around our belly and around our organs, that is called visceral fat. And that, my dear, is the dangerous kind of fat that we really, really want to avoid. Also, swollen ankles or joints, because when we're unable to get rid of that blood sugar, insulin actually signals our kidneys to hold on to water and sodium, which makes us feel like we're retaining water. And another one, and this is a big one, and I think a lot of people have this and they're not really associating it with insulin resistance, and that is when we're hungry after we've eaten a meal. Because what happens is that it's taking a longer time for our blood sugar or the energy from the meal to get into the cells to be able to be used for energy. So our cells are actually signaling, hey, we don't have any energy. We don't have anything to run on because, of course, we don't have any glucagon at this point, and so we're unable to use that stored energy, okay? So now our cells are saying, hey, I'm filled up with energy, but I can't use any of it, and now I need more of it because I'm not getting any. So it turns on our hunger signal. So if you are hungry after you eat a meal, this is a big sign that you are becoming insulin resistant. Also, this one is very interesting. It's dark patches of skin that are where in the folds of your body, like where you bend, so like your armpits or your groin, dark patches of skin there. And then back to those kidneys, because frequent urination is another symptom because our body is trying to use another pathway to eliminate the extra blood sugar. So it tells your kidneys to make more urine so that you can, remove it that way. So, and kind of a backside of that is it makes you feel thirsty more because your body is trying to get rid of the extra glucose that you have in your blood, and your insulin is not allowing that to happen. So now, along with the dry skin is skin tags. If you have skin tags on your neck and your armpits, that is a huge sign that you are becoming insulin resistant. So pay very close attention to that, because a lot of times we'll just go to the doctor and have it snipped off, and we won't draw the line that there's a bigger problem possibly behind just a simple skin tag. And lastly, and this one is easy, but it's elevated blood sugar levels, long term after you eat a meal, it doesn't come back down. So if you have any of these symptoms, seek out the answer to see if you could be becoming insulin resistant. But in the meantime, there's lots that we can do about it. And the number one thing for us to do about it is exercise. And that is resistance training, because your muscles are the biggest insulin responsive tissue. So your body wants to send glucose to your muscles. However, when they get all filled up, it can't do it anymore. So when we resistance training, number one, we use that stored energy in our muscles for that workout, and then when the workout is over, it has to be replaced. So that's the first place that the glucose goes to. So that is just the number one way to begin to pull back on your insulin resistance, is use those muscles. So, and your muscles will build no matter what age you are. If you are watching this video and you are 95 years old, if you go pick up resistance bands or some weights, your body will build muscle. So pick up something heavy, stretch a resistance band, but definitely please build muscle. Now, this one is easy, but cut out the garbage carbs. And you don't have to do it forever, but you know the foods that you shouldn't be eating, and we are definitely not going to go the rest of our lives without eating birthday cake, because there are celebrations in life, and we don't put those aside. We just go, we have fun, and then we get back to our normal life. But take the garbage foods out of your daily life, and you know what they are, because they're generally a fat and carb combination, which is a big no-no. There's literally no nature-made food that is a combination of high fat and high sugar, except milk. But guess what? Milk is made for us to make babies bigger, and we don't want to get any bigger. We are done growing, so we need to stay out of there. Now, nextly, stop snacking. For all of my coaching clients, this is one of the biggest rules that I have. 3 meals a day, no snacks. You have to have time in between a meal, after a meal, where you have to have your body doing the work for you. Once you're out of energy, your body has to dig into that stored energy for fuel, and we need these minutes. Even if it's only 30, 45 minutes in between a meal, do it. And when you consider that when you're becoming insulin resistant, you're dragging out the time of that insulin response. So you're not getting to that where you have to use your stored energy place. You're not getting to there as soon as you could be. So definitely stop snacking. This is really going to begin to reverse insulin sensitivity or insulin resistance. So, and next and lastly, don't overcompensate. If you switch right to a high fat, low carb diet, you're still giving your body a lot of extra energy, and you're really just kind of putting the problem on hold. So you're gonna have lower insulin levels, you're gonna have lower blood sugar levels, which are all great and great for all of your organs, and you're not, storing any more fat. But you know what, you're not reversing the insulin resistance, because your cells are still full and they're still not being used up. So it's a very big deal that we don't switch immediately over to a high fat, high or low carb diet. Now, we love carb cycling here. I'm going to go ahead and link a video that is going to explain that in much more detail. And lastly, please, please, please eat more protein. I want you to be building muscle. Muscle is so metabolic, and we need to do that. As we age, we automatically start to lose our muscle, and so this definitely helps us become insulin resistant, but we're losing muscle, so we need to build it. But while we're building it, we need to eat more protein, because as we age, we don't metabolize proteins as well as we did when we were younger. So we actually need more protein as we get older. Now, we need higher quality and higher amount of protein as we age. And I'm talking grass-fed, grass-finished beef, free-range chickens, the ocean-caught fish, not farmed, the highest quality, because we want these proteins to be very usable without the garbage in them, okay? So more protein, no snacking, and get some resistance training in there, and check out this video on carb cycling if you want. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope this helps. And if you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments. I am so happy to help. Bye.